It's real breakfast hours. Eat breakfast if you up. Today's breakfast is... I had an omelet with some sausages and cheese and black olives. And a little bit of hot sauce.
And I just had a little bit of eggs and strawberries.
You know?
Yeah.
So true.
Welcome to Nightville.
And welcome to Real Breakfast Hours.
I was like trying to riff off the song that plays after.
I don't actually even remember what that sounds like.
It doesn't sound like what I did, but like a little bit it does. Anyways, welcome back.
Welcome to Real Breakfast Hours. Episode 18.
Wow.
Wow.
Our podcast can vote.
And it should exercise its rights.
But first, viewers of Real Breakfast Hours, we are under attack.
By who?
The flies.
Yeah, there's a fly. There's one, count it, one fly in the house. I thought I got him a couple of times already.
He keeps coming back.
And then he'll just reappear. Most recently, I slapped him out of the air pretty hard, and then I didn't see his body, but then like a couple of minutes went by, there just not being a fly anywhere. I was like, I don't know, I guess I vaporized him or something. And then he just appeared again. So Michaela has the fly swatter now, and if we see him...
I'm ready for war. I did hit him right before we started. I kind of like spiked him, but then his body was once again nowhere to be found. And it was like, you know what I mean? You need a good hit against a wall to really
right.
get him.
The impact won't kill him. They're too strong. You gotta squish them.
So I don't know where he went, but it definitely tapped him at least.
So again, the same thing that I did, but we'll see if he walks this one off.
Yeah.
On that note, breakfast. You know what, Michaela? I'm pretty sure you're about to get slaughtered in the breakfast department again.
Well, you know, I did get some Real Breakfast Hours.
You did?
I got some breakfast submissions.
Well, you know, we made a little group chat for our real, like a text group chat with some of my friends who watch the show. And I've had them send their breakfasts there. Some of these are embarrassing. Some of them less so. For starters, we got our returning friend, viewer, and certified Samoan individual, Jugs, a.k.a. Darren, a.k.a. Yugs. He's got some ramen. Spicy chicken ramen for breakfast. For brekkie, he said.
Oh, for brekkie. That's
yes.
cute.
So we'll include that one there. That's a chocolate one for me. My parents went on vacation somewhat recently to Mexico. And my mom sent a picture of her breakfast, which was, let's see. She texted what it was, but I don't have the message pulled up. It looks like scrambled eggs, jalapenos, guacamole, a donut, some salsa, and plantains.
Wow.
It looks quite good.
Very colorful breakfast.
Very colorful breakfast for a lovely woman. And then our friend Gren, I almost don't even want to include this one. Because...
You gotta. I have one that is also kind of weird. So.
You know what? I did say Gren about to get blasted this week. So I'm morally obligated to include his breakfast and make fun of him for it. Gren works construction. God bless him. It's been pretty hot this week, so I hope he's okay. I know he is. He's not dead or anything, but... This absolute goon sent an energy drink and what appears to be a couple of gas station rip-off Slim Jims.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. You couldn't have at least splurged for the breakfast burrito like Crollo did the other time?
Yeah, I don't even think it's that much of a splurge at a gas station. I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Though, I will say to Gren, he's the only person besides me that I've ever seen drink a Reign. The energy drink that he's got there. They're alright. I like the pink, I like the bubblegum one. The pink one. Those are good.
There's a bubblegum one?
Yeah, it's pretty tasty. So, thank you to my friends for submitting your breakfast.
But don't worry. The Mickey side does have a few.
You need some points?
So we're going to get some points on the board.
This is a 5-zip right now. We'll see if she gets
not
some.
for long. Okay, dear Emily, my dear sorority sister, sent us her breakfast. It's a waffles with some whipped cream and strawberries. It looks really good.
That looks real good. That is, next to my mother's, the best breakfast that's been submitted in a while.
That is delicious. Thank you, Emily, for that one. And then this is less of an actual submission and more, I saw this man pull this out at my orientation on Friday at 10:52 a.m. or maybe it was 9:52. It was a very odd time. Like, it was not quite lunchtime yet. You know what I mean? Andrew, who was in my group, one of the Andrews, Andrew Banana as we call him.
Oh, I've met this man. What the heck?
Yeah, he just brought out some shrimp pad thai.
You know
Here
what?
we go. It was 9:52 a.m. because I took the picture at 9:53. So at not quite 10 a.m., he brought out the shrimp pad thai for breakfast. I don't even think this man heated it up. I think he ate it cold.
You know, we'll count that. Thank you for your submission against your will, I assume, because it looks like you took a picture.
Well, I asked him if I could and use it as a breakfast submission. Because how am I supposed to just not acknowledge that is someone's breakfast?
For the record, they stopped serving breakfast at 10:30 at McDonald's and stuff. So it was pre 10:30. It was in fact breakfast hours. Yep. So 5 to 2. At least she's on the board. Thank you for your submission to our loyal fans.
Thank you for your support.
We really needed that one. Let's
How was
keep
your
it to
week?
how was my week? Well, how was my week? I don't even know what I did this week. Worked.
Oh, you don't have anything special is what you're telling me?
No, other than we got let out early on Friday.
That's
They fed us some pizza, and they said enjoy your long weekend. Most of the office, including myself, is taking Monday off, so I don't got to go back to work until Wednesday. And we're going to a baseball game on Wednesday. The two of us my company is paying for a box. And they're like, just show up, tell me who you work for. They'll give you some tickets and take the elevator up to the box. There's food, drinks. It's going to be a fun time.
Oh, yeah. I've been, dabbling in my diet from January. I haven't fully been following it, but I've been trying to, mostly. Because I was having some acid reflux after Myrtle Beach.
As you do.
Which I've still had a little bit of, but not as much, because obviously I have been eating things that generally do not cause acid reflux. So, the only times I've had it is the few times that I've eaten and then pretty much immediately laid down, which was not smart. Do not do that. You will get acid reflux if you're like me. But so I'm ending it on Wednesday because the place that has the baseball game has banging chicken nuggets and fries and some really good honey mustard to go with them. So I'm about to be fiending is what I'm saying basically because I am a chicken nugget girly and I have not had chicken nuggets in a while.
I got some beverages for the weekend because it's the 4th of July. Burgers, dogs, beer. How are you not going to have these things? Fireworks.
Yeah.
I didn't actually purchase any fireworks because I don't know where would be a good place to light them off. And when I was feeling particularly weak, my knees were about to give in. I was just going to buy some. They didn't actually have any at the store I was at. So, we were saved that time from the impulse control. But I have this fancy red, white, and blue beer that I was hoping she would try some with me. But she insists that she can't consume alcohol on her diet, which is fine. But I was like, oh, you're going to stop on Wednesday? Could you maybe stop on Tuesday instead and have a beer? And she's like, I don't know. I don't think so.
A sip, perhaps.
Oh, fiendish.
But anyways, my week was exciting in that I had a lot to do. Well, okay, so school's starting back up for me again. What? Oh my god, I hear you say. Yeah, my school's crazy.
July 1st.
July 1st.
Or rather...
Actually, June 30th for orientation for my class, but literally orientation started Monday this past week for the incoming first years.
It's heinous.
Congratulations to all who were there and who weren't there throughout the week and who got off the wait list and all that stuff. Because some people, they were still pulling people off the wait list when it was like Wednesday, Thursday of that week. I think they were like, we're going to pull people off the wait list till like Friday or something.
That doesn't seem fair. Imagine you're waitlisted for medical school and then like...
You miss orientation because you got pulled off at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they actually did say that too. They were like, if you were here, you're very privileged. Some people just got off the wait list. Please give them your support and tips and what you learned if you see those new faces next week, basically. And it's tough. Like, I know a girl literally drove from, like, Montana, like, last weekend to get
Oh my
there.
God.
And it was crazy. But, I mean, realistically, like, let's say you're waiting on one place that is your potential into med school to becoming one step closer to being a doctor. Like, what are you going to do? Say no? So, I get it.
I know medical school is very competitive, and there's, like, only so many medical schools in the country. And you might not get into any of them this particular year. So if in the 11th hour one of them's like, actually, we will take you, you kind of just gotta go.
Yeah, unless you're like, I guess I'll apply to all over again, and it costs money to apply to places, and you have to deal with all the like just stress of it all. You know what I mean? So, and that's a whole year. You know, like med school is a lot. Like there's a lot of years that you have to put into it. So having to wait another year to just get started is like painful.
That's a year off your life you're not getting back. Also, unrelated, but my friend Danny just sent me a picture of an absolute metric buttload of fireworks, and he said this year about to be fun. Now I am certified.
There are places that do 4th of July firework things, and we could just go.
We'll have to go.
Yes. Anyways, as I was saying, orientation was this week, and I was an orientation leader. So I got to hang out with some of the new students this week, you know, welcoming them in, giving them my tips and tricks, all sorts of stuff. So that was fun. I really enjoyed that. I like giving advice to people, and I like when people ask me questions, because I'm a Leo. So it was really fun, and then Friday we had our own orientation, which was less fun, because it was just a lot of, here's your new schedule, and then here's a reminder of things you already know. That was good. And then today, we went to the farmer's market.
We did go to the farmer's market. We've been meaning to go for a while.
Yeah, and it was so fun. They had people playing music. I didn't know what to expect, but it was not that, and I was so excited and happy, and I wore my strawberry dress because there was one place that I knew was gonna be there today that makes they sell, you know, produce.
Farmer's market stuff.
Yeah, but they have strawberries right now because they have a U-Pick farm for strawberry picking. And if you know, last weekend I went strawberry picking, and in fact I might go again tomorrow with my mom because we ate both of our things of strawberries very quickly.
Golly.
So lots of strawberries. It is summertime. Strawberries got to be my favorite fruit other than raspberries and maybe pineapple, but pineapple I can only eat so much of because it hurts my tongue.
The pineapple eats you back.
It eats you back. So like I love a good pineapple, but it gets bad. And also pineapples are rough because if you don't get it when it's good, then they're almost like hard. Well, I think that's when people leave the core on it, but then it's just like really sour. I mean, they all are really sour when they're not ripe, but
You can hear how picky she is. She's like that with all of her food. She calls it being refined. I call it being picky.
listen, I just know what's good. I want a ripe, juicy strawberry. I don't want the sour, like, too early strawberry. And same thing with the raspberries. Like, raspberries, when they're perfectly ripe, like, they're sweet, and then, like, they taste, like, almost like nothing, but with, like, sweetness. Versus when you get one that's, like, just not good, it's just, like, really sour, and then you're like, wow, it's so sour. And I'm not a sour candy kind of girl, so I don't really like when my fruit's sour. I'm expecting sweet, succulent fruit.
I could really go for some lemonade right now, and I don't think we have any in the house.
We still have the weird one.
We did get some lemonade, like a gallon of lemonade from the store over a week ago, and it...
More than that. We got it when we went up to camp.
It could have been a year ago, and it would still be over a week ago, okay?
Okay, well.
It hasn't expired, let's put it that way.
No,
but it is old. And not... It doesn't matter that it's old because it's tasted the same the whole time, and it just tasted odd the whole time. It's off. It's not quite right, but I'm still drinking it.
Because he wants.
Because I don't like to waste food.
Boyfriend who doesn't like to waste food. Girlfriend who
is picky.
Speaking of boyfriend, girlfriend, would you like to tell them the story of today when we went to the mall?
This was... I said heinous earlier. This was heinous. Like, there's a lot of things that have been heinous. The Barbie movie's coming out soon. We're very excited for the Barbie movie. She's got herself a nice pink dress. I think it's hot pink, right? Her favorite color of pink is this more pastel, like powdery pink.
I like this pink.
Yeah, like the tablecloth hair. Barbie's pink is hot pink. Very pink.
To be fair, she deals with any kind of pink, but the iconic Barbie is the hot pink.
Yes. So she got him dressed that goes with it. And, I'm trying to match that Kenergy. She's everything, and he's just Ken. Try saying that in French. But I need a matching pink shirt. So we went to a couple of stores today, and the one that we struck a gold on was JCPenney. It was a nice pink shirt. It was the same exact color as her dress. And I got some off-white cargo shorts to go with them, and I have some white sneakers that I'm going to wear. We go to check out. We throw them up there, and this woman was probably late 50s. Old enough to be one of our moms or something, right? And this woman, she goes, "Oh, you're going to wear the pink shirt?" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't
She said you're going to rock the pink shirt.
Saying it because I'm a guy, and a lot of guys won't wear pink, right?
Yeah.
I have no hang-ups like that. I'll wear the pink. I don't care. And I'm like, "Yeah, Barbie movie's coming out soon. We want to match. She's got a matching dress, so I'm going to wear the shirt."
We did not know. He said, "Yeah," and I said, "We're going to see the something about like the Barbie movie's coming out, and we're going."
Yes, and I said that we're going to match.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, isn't that nice?" And we check out, and as we're going to leave, she goes, "Your dad seems like so much fun." And I was like, and we just left. Then we exited the mall, and there was an ambulance or a fire truck there, and there was a
stretcher.
There's a stretcher. They were helping this person on the stretcher. I don't know what was going on with that. Somebody was unwell. And as we were leaving, kind of just looking at each other like, from the woman saying that I looked like her dad, there was some guy crossing the street yelling about God knows what. I couldn't even really make out what he was saying.
He was
it just
saying
sounded like nonsense.
something about like a hospital, and then I think he was saying like BS and like all this stuff. Like he was probably just, okay, it's not nice to call people crazy, but like there was something going person. On. Yeah, like unwell, but mentally. Because he was like going off about nothing. He's just like walking away. I don't even know if he was involved with that situation.
It was like the Oblivion NPC dialogue.
Yeah, like literally.
Dude was just hitting his dialogue checks while nobody was around him, and we could hear him yelling about nothing. And I turned around to look, and there's like the fire truck and a crowd of people over here helping this individual onto the stretcher and whatnot. And then there's like 15 feet away from them in the middle of the road, nobody's near this guy. He's just spouting off about God knows what. And then on the other side of the parking lot is us. So he had a nice bubble around him of nobody, and he was still talking. But yeah, that woman said that I look like her dad, I guess, or thought I was her dad. I don't know how old that woman thought I was, or how old she thinks you are, but obviously not.
To be fair, I'm like wearing this strawberry dress that I was wearing to the farmer's market, which got lots of compliments on. And like, I guess dresses, and especially like cuter ones like this, can give off a youthful vibe. And I do have a baby face. But I'm like,
I don't have any gray hair, or nearly enough gray hairs to...
He does have some.
It's the stress she creates and gives me gray hairs once in a while.
Me.
Every once in a while, I'll be like, "Oh, that's odd."
It's more like I look over at you and I'm like, "Go gray hair."
Couple, I guess. So stress for sure.
So, anyways, comment down below how old you think we look.
Comment down below. We need to call the police.
Because apparently I look 15 or something less than.
Well, yeah, unless this woman thought I was 40 somehow.
I think. Well, you said you couldn't look more than 30.
There's no way. I would believe that somebody thought I was 30.
So let's say she thought you were 30, and she thinks there's no way I look 12. You know what I mean? So like, Maybe she thinks I'm like 15, because that's what I've heard a lot. They said you look like 15 or 16. I've heard that one a few times. That was like a year or two ago, so I thought maybe we'd be not in the 15 or 16 range, but like let's say maybe she still thinks I look 15 or 16.
Yeah, so 15 and 30. So this woman thinks
He had a child at 15.
The number of assumptions this woman was making, and I just don't know. You know. I just don't know.
I just don't know, but that was really funny. I couldn't believe it. Sometimes things just be happening to us.
Some people just say things too. And that was one of those times.
That was one of those times.
But you know what? At least I sound like fun because I'm wearing pink to the Barbie movie.
Hope to see you at the Barbie.
But yeah, all you dads out there, let's hope you wear pink with your daughters to the Barbie movie.
So yeah, that's this week in review for our personal lives.
Oh, you know what? We didn't even say what we got from the farmer's market.
Oh, I got strawberries, because that's what I went there for, obviously.
Yes, I picked up a couple of hot sauces that one of these people were selling that presumably they made themselves and bottled themselves, which is very exciting. I haven't had a chance to try them yet, but they had like 4 or 5 flavors out, and I was like, all right, which one's the hottest? And he pointed to this yellow one. I was like, all right, I'll take that one and one of these other funny red ones. And then some other guy was selling meat that presumably he raised and packaged himself, or themselves, I guess, because there was a couple of guys. We bought a pound of lamb for $20, which is not super cheap, but it's good enough. Wasn't like an arm and a leg.
Yeah, it's fun, you know.
Yeah, it's fun. We're hopefully going to make some shepherd's pie with it.
I think it'll be very yummy.
It should be banging.
The Supreme Court has struck down the student debt relief. What? That's not even
you know what? You're right.
controversial.
You're right.
I feel like most people our age were like, yeah, that would be good. And a lot of people that are older than us were like, yeah, that would be good.
I thought you were going to talk about some of the other Supreme Court stuff, because the Supreme Court has been real active lately.
They've been too active, and I do not like them. Thank you.
At least in particular for this one thing, where we can definitely both agree. That's whack.
Yeah, but I don't like them for any of their decisions personally. That's just me. But anyways, well, I don't know. I haven't heard all of them. But most of the big ones that you've heard, just safe to say, I'm not a fan. But this one specifically, the student... God forbid I try to say anything without this man getting more coffee.
Coffee break.
It's coffee break.
Unrelated, but look at that.
It's very cute. Oh, you want to hit him with the, Look how satisfying. Smells good. Well, actually, I'm not a huge honey person, but I love the allure of honey, you know? Like, the aesthetic of honey and the idea of putting honey in your, like, tea or your coffee or whatever. The problem I have with honey is that it tastes like honey.
You don't like the taste of honey?
No.
You know, you actually made a comment very similar to that today, that because we got breakfast.
Oh, yeah.
I was drinking coffee. I brought some coffee with me to the farmer's market.
Yeah, and there was like a little stand that had was making coffee and lattes.
Yeah, and she said, I sure wish I liked coffee more. And I was like, why? Because coffee is a whole aesthetic and a vibe. There's an idea of coffee, and it's very fun. And
cozy, or like, you know, people just be getting lattes and macchiatos and all these fun things that have coffee in them. That's like, man, if I liked coffee, I could have that fun little beverage, and I'm a beverage girly.
I think you need to make the conscious decision to like coffee, because for myself, I drink a lot of coffee. I like beer, I like whiskey, all this other stuff, and I do really think that a lot of that is you have to make the mental decision to like these things, because when you are a kid, I said this to you earlier today, but when you're a kid and you try coffee for the first time, you might think it's gross, right? Or maybe you have some of your older sisters or your moms or your uncles or somebody's coffee and it's loaded with sugar and cream, and you think, oh, this tastes good. Well, you're not really drinking coffee in that case, right? Like the thing that you're liking right there isn't really the coffee, it's the cream and the sugar.
Right, but I would never drink it black.
Well, I'm not saying that you have to, but earlier I called you picky, and you're like, It's called having a refined palate or being sensitive or whatever. Okay, well then you're sensitive to the coffee flavor, so you still have to learn to like the coffee flavor. It's the same, or because when I was real little, my dad used to drink a lot of Heineken, which is a type of beer, and I was like 10 or something, less than that. And I was like, "Oh, Dad, can I have a sip?" And he gave me. He laughed a little bit, and he's like, "Sure," but a small one. And he gave me a little taste, and I was like, "Oh, disgusting." But now here I am as a 25-year-old man, and I really enjoy beer.
Meanwhile, I go disgusting.
Right, because you don't just the first time you try something like that, you're not gonna love it. You have to choose to want to like it, and then you develop a taste for it, and you start to like see all the different flavors of the different kinds of coffee. It's fun. It's a thing.
Yeah. Well, here's my point, folks. I'm not gonna make myself like something that's not good for me, and the only way coffee I could drink it that would be even semi good for me would be black, and that's not happening. Just like, and like the beer's not good for you, so I'm just not gonna bother trying to like it. And also, coffee's generally not good for me because it's one of the things that can give you acid reflux. So I like the aesthetic. Sometimes I wish I could just get a little iced coffee or like a little, lavender latte thing, but at the end of the day, the amount I would have to put in to make me like that, to be able to drink that, would just be not good for me.
Recently I got coffee from Dunkin' Donuts, and I told the woman on the speaker, I'll take a black French vanilla coffee, please. And then I noticed on the little window thing, it said black iced coffee, and I was like, hot coffee, please. I didn't think I would have to specify that. I just assumed that like you would specify iced coffee. If I ask for coffee, it should be hot, right? Like that's not, I don't know. Maybe I'm a boomer or something, but I thought like coffee in its normal natural state is hot.
Hot, yeah. No, I think that's normal. Like usually you would have to specify that you want iced, but not hot. Like
Right.
if I said a coffee, like I'm thinking of a hot coffee.
Right. Yeah, but
Apparently not.
not if you're a 17-year-old girl who works at Dunkin' Donuts.
I don't know how we got onto this.
I poured
'cause
myself
you
more
poured
coffee while you were talking
I
about
was
the
trying to
student
talk
debt relief.
about the student debt relief thing. Well, I just wanted to say that they struck it down or whatever. They're like, it's unconstitutional. I'm like, you guys are such haters. Like, it's not even funny. The government and the Supreme Court and everyone will give businesses and rich people a million tax breaks and loan forgiveness, like all that PPP loan forgiveness stuff that happened with all the businesses and things. Like, they can get their stuff forgiven day and night, but God forbid us normal people
Normies.
try and do anything and try and get a little help, and the government's like, no, that's not for you.
The government will spend your tax dollars on anything but useful. The government will spend your money on anything except something useful. People always talk about, but what about infrastructure, right? But the roads are still covered in potholes. The Flint, Michigan still doesn't have water. Debt forgiveness would be very nice. And I understand that some people don't want their, I understand the argument of, I don't want my tax dollars being used to pay for somebody else's college. Yes, but your tax dollars are already used for God knows what. Might as well be for your neighbors.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing is, people are kind of very individualistic in the Western countries, but especially America. But it's like, the government's already using your money for stuff, and again, they already forgave loans for rich people and businesses and stuff. Like, your neighbor, like, literally help your neighbor, you know what I mean? Like, what you just said is, like, so true.
Yeah, it's pretty wacky. And you know what? I understand not wanting your tax dollars to go to somebody else, only if you just don't want to be taxed at all. I lose like a third or more of my paycheck to taxes.
Yeah. Which is insane because what does that even get you? You know what I mean?
Oh.
Like, people
infrastructure.
People talk about Europe having high taxes and stuff like that, but I feel like they get so much more from their taxes than we do. You know what I mean? Like, they get universal health care and stuff. And cool things. And we're out here just like, I don't know, potholes.
Yeah, I would like to either not be taxed or have my taxes help me. But right now I'm being taxed and they're not helping me. So, that's great.
So yeah, I thought that one was not controversial.
At least, certainly less than maybe some of the other topics.
You know what, like if that...
Supreme Court.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, most of the stuff I feel like it's not really that controversial, but it's okay. Anyways, I'm just probably gonna cut out that. That's okay.
What else? We talked about the submarine last time.
Yes. Oh! You know, things on TikTok move very quickly. And just like how last week my TikTok became absolutely bombarded with TikToks about the submersible that's, well, imploded now. That was like I would swipe and every one or two posts was about the Titan submersible. Well, a few days ago, that happened again, but for a different topic.
Oh, God.
And if you're on TikTok or YouTube, perhaps you've heard, but if not, Colleen Ballinger, that's how you say her last name, I don't know, or better probably known as Miranda Sings, who was a big YouTuber back in the day, and I mean is still a YouTuber, but I'm like, do people still watch Miranda Sings? Because if you ask me, that type of humor is very reminiscent of old Shane Dawson humor, and very much like kind of the more offensive or like random humor that's like, oh, we're gonna be loud and like random and say like off-color things and that makes it funny, right? Like obviously sometimes dark jokes are funny because you're like, oh man, I wasn't expecting that, but it's like if you were in the early 2000s or the late aughts, right?
The late what?
Aughts? People call the 2000s the aughts.
Never heard that in my life.
It's mostly a British thing. Anyways.
You've been looking at too many British people. You know what reminds me?
Can I ever get through something?
No, you take too long. Now I remember the point just now.
God.
All my homies really gonna like this one. My boy Speeds, he's Scottish. He's gonna love this one. Too many British people and things these days. I'm just gonna say it. The new Street Fighter, Cammy's got a Union Jack on her jacket. The new Final Fantasy, everybody has a British accent. Why? They're in Fantasyland. Why do they have a British accent? Xenoblade, everybody's British. Warhammer, everybody's British. It needs to stop.
Are you done?
Not until the UK falls.
Okay, anyways. Dark or off-color humor that was like never really that funny, but for some reason it was very popular with those types. Anyways, that's what the Miranda Sings character is. It's a lot of jokes about like my uncle touches me. I don't know.
My uncle's weird.
Yeah, my uncle's weird and like does things to me in a sexual manner, like that sort of stuff. And yeah, anyways, I don't keep up with her. She had a baby a time ago, and that was like mostly the last thing I heard about her. I never really watched Miranda Sings. I just knew about her from, unfortunately, I did watch like Shane Dawson and those types when I was younger, so I was aware of her. I was a big YouTube girly, you know?
I'd never heard of this girl until recently.
Anyways, she recently, some people were like, people who I assume are no longer minors, but at the time were minors, like 15 and younger, were like, yeah, Miranda Sings, Colleen sent me a pair of underwear when I was a 15-year-old boy. Or like, Miranda Sings, Colleen would say weird things to minors in group chats with them, like asking about when they got their period and like other sexual things to them. Like, okay, a period is not sexual, but it's just
asking somebody about it is
not necessarily sexual, but it is weird to like, if you're not a family member or a close friend of a young and also a minor yourself, it's weird to talk about young kids, like, period. Yeah, if you're a stranger and like, yes, you're a YouTuber and they watch you, but like, you're a stranger, and also power dynamics and all that stuff. Anyways, they were like, this is weird, she did these things and that's not good. And then the internet was like, Well, honestly, I didn't even see anything about the internet being like, oh my god, look at all these texts and videos and proof of her doing this stuff. Like, that's so weird. All I heard was a few days ago that she dropped an apology video. And what was this apology video, you may ask? Apology might be a strong word, because she brought out the old ukulele.
It was a YouTuber apology, which means that they're not really apologizing. They're mostly deflecting.
Yeah, and deflect she did, because, as she said, hop aboard the toxic gossip train. And she brought out the ukulele, and she made it into a little song, and she also was so quirky, and was all like, I'm not a groomer, I'm just a loser, LOL, which is just like, girl, people are accusing you of serious things, and there's receipts. Maybe don't do that. There's like a part where she brings up the fact with like no reason that she's very skinny. She says, oh, you stuck your knives in my bony little back. Girl, you didn't need to bring that up. What's up with that? Why are you bringing up how small and tiny and ooh you are, and how skinny you are? Like, stop. That's not good.
You know what I don't understand about these people? Because it's an epidemic regarding the YouTuber apologies. Because somebody accuses you of something heinous, and there's that word again. There's two things that you can do. One, you didn't do it, or two, you did do it. The only things to do from that are, if you didn't do it, you make the I did not do this. I deny all involvement in that. And it's upsetting that people would make up lies about me. Don't make it funny. It's not a joke. Don't be like, and you're stabbing me in my back. Like, with a little. Don't do all that. Just upfront, I didn't do it. Do not accuse me of that. That's that, right? Oh, and the other option is you did do it. So you make in a video where you apologize, admit it was wrong.
Take accountability.
And try to move on. You in no world do you make jokes about it, deflect, it's really not that confusing.
It's really not that hard. Real Breakfast Hours viewers rejoice, for I have killed the fly. And if you're the type of person who's like, oh my god, don't kill flies.
We'll kill you next.
It's a fly, okay?
Flies don't have
There's
rights.
plenty of them.
More than we need, in fact.
So, anyways. Yeah, I don't know what it is about these people that, like, someone should really do a case study on these types of people and how any of them could think that kind of YouTuber apology is okay.
Clout-based psychosis really began.
Yeah. I'm gonna add something to the DSM-5, or I guess when they come out with the DSM-6, we'll have
There's a lot of weird stuff in the DSM-5, like video game addiction is like a disease.
Yeah, that was, it was a big thing in the, 2000s that people were saying that, video game addiction and stuff, and, it's not really a thing, but,
You can be addicted to anything because it's, pattern forming.
Yeah, but there's just, I don't know. I don't know why she would do that. I don't know why she thought that was good. In fact, she even mentioned, so if you've ever seen, Victorious, or just any, bad joke where they're like, oh, you can't say that, and they're like, but they didn't say I couldn't sing. You know what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean.
There's literally a scene of... Well, did you ever watch Victorious? Probably not.
Maybe 2 episodes.
Ariana Grande's character, Kat.
Yes.
Well, she, goes to the doctor or something, and they're like, oh my god, Kat, I thought you couldn't... your doctor said you can't speak. That's what she says. He didn't say I couldn't sing.
I do remember her being dumb as rocks. I do remember Jade, the goth girl, being, mean or something. Yeah. And I remember somebody saying... who would win in a fight between these two, and it was Jade, and then Sam from iCarly, and somebody's like, Sam Puckett, I think? Sam Puckett has, multiple, warrants for her arrest, and she's, a federal criminal who beat somebody up with a sock full of butter. She would tear Jade's spine out.
Yeah, Sam Puckett ain't... Pucketing around.
Which is hilarious because I think they did a crossover episode where Carly and Victoria Justice fought in the octagon.
Oh, no. In that, Victoria... Well, it was... Yes. But she was playing a different character. But there was an actual iCarly Victorious crossover episode, I'm pretty sure.
Right, but Victoria Justice and whatever iCarly's real name is,
Miranda Cosgrove.
They did fight in the octagon.
Yeah, but that was for an episode of iCarly.
Yes.
Yeah, anyways. That was not like the character that she plays on Victorious. That was the actress.
Right, I'm just saying it was like only one step removed from a Jade versus Sam SmackDown. Anyways,
so don't apologize like that. And it was very entertaining to watch all the TikToks that I got about that because, I mean, I don't think that was on some... maybe, like, a bad YouTuber apology was on people's 2023 bingo because, like, I feel like that does happen once every year, maybe once every couple of years. But, like, I don't think anyone expected her to bring out the ukulele and turn it into a song, you know?
We are already over halfway done with 2023.
We are in July, baby, which means it's my birth month. Also, all month, it's for me.
There's a lot of good stuff coming this month.
Barbie.
Oppenheimer.
Taylor Swift. The Speak Now Taylor's version. My birthday.
I could live the rest of my life, at least the rest of this year, without hearing Taylor Swift's name ever again.
Yeah,
I'm sick of it.
You won't keep hearing it, though.
And that's what I'm afraid of. Fear might not be the right word, because I've given up at that point. I'm not afraid anymore. I just know it's coming. You know what? There was some Reddit strike that all of the Reddit moderators, who are some of the worst people on the planet, Reddit mods, like any negative stereotype you could associate with an internet user, you're probably describing a Reddit mod. They're bad people. Mostly because they're people who don't get paid but take their job as seriously as death. And they use a lot of third-party apps to moderate their subreddits. And the Reddit CEO or whoever is in charge of these things was like, we're just not going to allow them anymore. And if you want to be allowed, you have to pay an exorbitant amount of money to be allowed. So all the third-party apps are like, no, we're not going to do that. So all the Reddit mods are like, wow, we won't be able to moderate as efficiently. And to do that, we're going to put all of our subreddits that we're in control of on private and basically shut down the site. But we're only going to do it for 2 days. So for 2 days, you basically couldn't use Reddit. Didn't impact my life very much. I don't use Reddit, really. But I know for some people, it was quite distressing. However, them specifying that it was only going to last 2 days was kind of them throwing all of their bargaining power out the window. Because if you're the CEO and your whole site goes down because all the moderators are against you, that's an issue. But if they say, we're only going to protest for 2 days and we're going to go back to operating as normal, you just wait out the 2 days. And that's exactly what he did.
Yeah.
So, goal post ratio on the Redditors, I guess.
Alright, let's pick one.
Oh, I know that'd be a good one.
Which one?
Video game.
Well, I already know what you're going to say about
No,
this.
I haven't even read it yet.
Okay. Well, you read this one since you wanted this one.
I picked this one because...
He's a gamer.
I'm a gamer. The Joker bit. He was like, my father was a gamer and a fiend.
Can you just read it?
Am I the asshole for turning off a video game that my son and his friends were playing? Then you got like the boom vine sound. My son had a sleepover with a few of his friends last night. They'd gone swimming and played at the park before coming back to my house to play video games in the living room. I brought them a pizza to eat and was overwhelmed by the smell of a 10 to 11-year-old boy armpits.
That's unfortunate.
It does suck, but it sounds like so far so
good. You should have bought them pizza and deodorant.
You got 11-year-old boys who just hung out outside all day and you're bringing them pizza and they're going to play sleepover. You should expect this, right? It might not smell very good, but it's so far so good. I told them to go put deodorant on and they said okay. I checked in with them a few minutes later and they still hadn't washed up. At that point, they started to push back that they didn't need it because they'd already put some on last night. I said whatever deodorant they put on last night had gotten washed off at the pool, and you all spent the last hours running around in warm weather. Told them again to go put some on. They still didn't put any on, so I turned off their video game. Apparently, they were just about to pass a difficult level before I turned it off and were very upset with me. My son later told me that I embarrassed him. I told him that I handled it the way that I did because I wasn't getting their attention.
It's only tough because you're a gamer.
I'm a gamer.
Any other time, if this was anything else, you'd be like, yeah, that's the parent being like, you know, a parent.
Authoritative.
You'd be like, yes, but because it's a game, you're like, oh. Well, maybe you should listen to your mom.
I'm just saying. There might have been a different way to handle it.
Okay.
But if they weren't... You're right. If they weren't playing a ball, sometimes you just got to put your foot down.
Yeah. I mean, how was just, like, obviously they weren't listening, so just take away the thing that makes them not listen. And, like, the whole, oh my god, Mom, you embarrassed me. I'm like, your parents are going to embarrass you a lot, so get used to it.
Could warn a brother, though.
Well, yeah, maybe if you don't do this right now, I'm going to turn off your game, and then when they don't listen, do it. Maybe a warning first, but I still don't really think it makes her the a-hole, because at the end of the day, like, that's just how it be.
Right. Asshole is definitely a strong word. I would definitely not call her... Oh. Naturally.
Yeah, naturally,
Reading
Reddit, where the Reddit people are like, oh my god, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, you probably don't wear deodorant either.
Now, I'm going to say this. My mom probably would not have done that. I'm just saying, you have a bunch of 10-year-old boys who've been running around sweating all day, and you bought them pizza and they have a little sleepover. It's not going to smell pleasant in the room, right? It just kind of comes with the territory. You and all your friends need to go upstairs and put deodorant on. What are you talking about, Mom? You want us to share deodorant? My friends didn't bring deodorant over the house.
Someone else said, LMAO, the only reason OP is being judged as an a-hole is because he messed with their precious video game, and this is Reddit. And you know what? I agree with that.
It's true. But I am saying kids smell, and making it a big deal is kind of weird.
I just don't think she made it that big of a deal. Like, they weren't listening to her, so she turned off the game. I mean, yeah, I agree that there was maybe a better way to do it, but I don't think it made it an asshole.
Again, asshole is a strong word. I would not call you an asshole. I would say you handled that. You could have handled that better.
Yeah.
I think that's something that is kind of a common theme with these Am I the Asshole posts, is that you're not really an asshole, but you could have handled that one better.
Okay.
No, oh boy.
Oh, you don't want to do that one?
No, we can. You gotta read it, that's all.
Yeah. This one is, am I the asshole for initially not believing my son when he said he was sick? I'm a 48-year-old single mom to 2 kids. We'll call them Rachel and Vic. Rachel recently turned 18 and she has a lot of chronic health issues she's been struggling with since she was little. We've been blessed that she has a lot of good periods, but right now she's having some trouble, likely due to the stress of next year's graduation and all that entails. I've been keeping pretty busy, making sure she stays as healthy as possible. I think Vic has always resented the extra attention his sister receives, which is understandable. I've always tried my best to make sure he has special time devoted to him too, but I'd be lying if I said Rachel's health hasn't taken precedence over everything else. About a month ago, we had the good news that Vic will likely be graduating early due to academic excellence. I was so happy and congratulated him, but I noticed that since then, his behavior has seemed to be worse. He was more moody, short with me, not eating meals I made. Last week, I took Rachel to the doctor over a sinus issue. While we were there, Vic called from school saying he was in a lot of pain and could I take him home early. I told him he knew I was at the doctor with Rachel. He got pissy and said some not so nice things about me favoring her. I'll admit I jumped to conclusions and thought that this, combined with his other bad behavior, meant he was just trying to get attention since his early graduation news hadn't given him enough. I told him because of his attitude I wasn't picking him up early at all, and after Rachel's doctor visit was over, I went to work as usual. When I got home, everything seemed normal, but when I called the kids down for dinner, Vic didn't come. When I checked his room, I quickly realized he's genuinely sick. I immediately rushed him to the doctors and apologized profusely to him for not believing him initially. I tried to explain that his behavior recently is why I assumed he just wanted attention. He said if it was Rachel, I wouldn't have made that assumption, though I assured him this wasn't true. Since then, he hasn't really talked to me. Was I really being the asshole? I think I made an honest mistake and corrected it as soon as I found out things were serious.
Call it.
Asshole.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think that's a bit harsh. I think everybody makes mistakes. I will say that I assume that Vic, the son here, who is graduating early for academic excellence, is probably not a troublemaker.
Yeah.
Probably doesn't get up to no good very frequently, and probably wouldn't call home and ask you to take him home if he wasn't feeling genuinely unwell. So I do think the correct course of action there would be, I'm at the doctor, I can get you after.
Yeah.
So, but again, like, I do think you do make mistakes sometimes.
I think this is a-hole behavior because once, like you said, like, he's a good kid, obviously. If he's graduating early, that's, like, an impressive thing. And he obviously feels neglected, which he does. And then for him to call and be like, I do not feel well. And
the cat just whined for attention from across the room.
Can't even see him.
Should I go grab him?
Yeah. And yeah, pretty much all the people in this also are seeming to agree with me because it's like, she's saying, oh, he's had bad behavior recently, but like we don't even know what he's been doing. And for you to not, like, as far as I know, it's not like he feigns being sick a lot, you know what I mean? So I don't even know why that came to her mind. I think she's just making excuses to make herself not sound like the asshole, because I think she knows she is. Because honestly, when it comes to your kids, I think that you need to listen to them when they say something is wrong. When you don't listen, and especially when you go to this amount of not listening by saying, no, I'm not even going to pick you up from school, or at least like come see you to check if you're like not well, all that reads to your child is that I don't care about you, I don't believe you, I don't trust you. So then why would your kid trust you? Why would your kid ever come to you if they were having issues, if they're being bullied at school, if they're being groomed online? When you treat your kids like that and you show that you don't believe them or you don't trust them or you don't care about them in that way, they are not going to come to you for things. And he obviously already feels neglected, and you say that you know that, and then you do this. Like, this kid is not going to like you growing up.
And, upon thinking about that a little bit more, I guess asshole would be the right call. Because you can be an asshole in an instance without necessarily, like, being an asshole.
Yeah, like, usually when I'm saying, like, they're not really the asshole, it's because, like, yes, they made a mistake, but it was, like, the mistake they made didn't make, but like that mistake, like, yes, it's a mistake, but you were the asshole.
Right, you're being an asshole right now. And a lot of the time, for these posts, you can tell people only make the post because they feel like an asshole and they want to be told that they aren't.
Yeah. But that's not happening here, so be better. What do you think, Mr. Raw?
He's offended by this poor behavior. Bye, bud.
Alright. Well, do you have anything else to say for this episode?
Treat your kids with respect.
Yeah.
treat your parents with respect, obviously, but treat your kids with respect. I think a lot of people forget that.
Yeah. Well, because everyone's always like, oh, treat your elders with respect, and oh, treat your parents with respect. What about your kids? You should have respect for them, too. Kids are people, too. So
I saw a guy a long time ago. He tweeted, when I have kids, there's like not even gonna be doors on their bedrooms. Like, you can't go anywhere unless I say that you can. We not friends. Nothing is debatable. And somebody goes, enjoy the old folks home.
Yeah, literally.
It's that simple, really. So, thanks for watching.
You can't just sit there.
I think you can. I think that's funny. I think it's funny.
Like, comment, subscribe, and send us your breakfast.
Send us your breakfast. Michaela is at a 3-point deficit right now. Fellas, keep up the good work.
No. Mike's friends, you can take the week off.
Don't do it. We need to really hit the nail.
Don't need to send
really bury the nail. Right? We gotta hit this one home.
Please.
I better see a 10-point lead next week, right? And I'm calling for total Michaela death.
What the heck?
Send me your breakfast. Take pictures of your food. Roundhouse Michaela's breakfast into the trash can. Give me your breakfast.
Well, with that, I think that ends this episode.